Speaking of potential issues, one last story, as I was saying before we end this week's episode. We'll have more fun next week and a big action-packed episode of The Experience with SummerSlam and so much more. But Jim, a story that a ton of listeners have been sending over and apparently is getting coverage in other places off the original article. It's a long article here. I have it from military.com. That sounds official.
And boy, it's about as serious as a heart attack. Military.com. Don't go in there unless you're prepared.
From military.com, the headline under military news by Steve Benyon: the Army bet $11 million on The Rock and UFL ginning up enlistments. It may have actually hurt recruitment efforts. The Army is seemingly having buyer's remorse after an $11 million marketing deal with the United Football League and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The high-dollar, high-profile deal likely didn't lead to a single new Army recruit and may possibly have had a negative impact on finding new enlistments.
As soon as the commercial started airing, people started going AWOL.
Internal documents and emails reviewed by military.com show the service may even seek to get some of its money back. The Army inked the deal earlier this year with the UFL, the upstart minor league alternative to the NFL, that had an inaugural season from March through June with a disappointing debut. More importantly, the deal included Johnson, a global superstar.
Now you doesn't gotta call him Johnson.
An owner of the league who was supposed to serve as a pseudo-brand ambassador for the Army. Let me say that again. Like he's covert. A pseudo-brand ambassador for the Army.
Pseudo. Oh.
That's studio, but anyway. Though the service said he did not fulfill his end of the bargain to publish a specific number of service-related posts on his social media accounts. The news comes as the Army is in the midst of a historic recruiting crisis that has been partially worsened by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. No, by the service struggling to navigate modern marketing trends. Like giving $11 million to Dwayne Johnson thinking anyone was going to go, man, The Rock wasn't in the Army. He thinks I should do it. That's a great fucking idea.
Well, no, here's the thing. It's not the first time that an armed service branch has worked with a wrestling company, because they figure, and rightfully so, there's a lot of young, 18 to 25 or whatever, age they're looking for, men that want to play with guns and or get away from goddamn their family or whatever reason you might want to sign up to get shot at. And it works.
There are patriotic heroes, and there are people who just want to help their country and defend their country. And
we
should be grateful for them.
And there's just a ton of great people in the world, and just only a very few skeevy ones that only want to fucking be in it for themselves and or fondle weapons. But nevertheless, the point is, it's worked in the past. How do you spend that much money? How do you run that kind of advertising campaign and not get one single person to sign up? They've got to have a way to verify this. Somewhat like a fucking, what's that promo code, Jim? Did they say, well, when you go in to sign up, say The Rock sent me?
Well, according to let me continue on here. It goes into the recruiting crisis. The UFL deal was so catastrophic, it led to a projected loss of 38 enlistments. An internal review of the plan shows. So 38 less people signed up because of it.
We wanted to do it, but oh, fuck no. The UFL? No, fuck.
I saw The Rock tweet out about it, but I already saw that in and out thing, so I just didn't trust him. I didn't want to sign up.
Well, also, but did you see somewhere they wrote, I saw on one account of this, that they were ascribing of it. Like The Rock was supposed to tweet this information on his Twitter account like a half a dozen times, and they were saying that was going to be worth $1 million a tweet.
Part of the allure of the deal was Johnson's social media reach and an agreement that he would tout, T-O-U-T, in terms of a toot versus a tout, ladies and gentlemen. He would tout the Army.
Maybe he was tooting his own horn.
A titan on social media, Johnson has 396 million followers on Instagram. The Army valued each...
Can that possibly be real?
No. The Army valued each social media post at $1 million. Service documents show, and it was expecting 5 of them, but Johnson did not fulfill his end of the deal, making only 2 of the 5 social media posts Army documents show. Johnson says he was in the gym. No,
how hard is it? Hey, these dipshits are giving you $1 million to tweet something. How hard is it to tweet it?
In total, the Army wants to recoup $6 million from the UFL, documents show. However, it was unclear how the service came up with that figure.
It's unclear how the service came up with the figures that they gave to him.
No comment from the UFL, and Johnson's publicist did not respond to a request for comment.
Gerwitz?
He was carrying a bucket of piss.
Oh, he didn't have a free hand, because that's a heavy bucket.
It's a lot of piss.
A lot of piss there, a lot of urine. This one's mine, and this one's urine.
It was a 2-hander.
Yeah, but that's what she said. But now, so the point is, I'm willing to agree that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a big movie star, but I don't give a fuck who you are in this world. Mahatma Gandhi, whoever the fuck. Just tweeting something is not worth $1 million. And if these people paid it, I think it's their fault. But
well, and actually on that topic here, from the beginning, Army staff warned against a partnership with the UFL or the XFL or the USFL, 2 minor league football leagues that would eventually form the UFL through a merger. Service officials said the financial burden was way too high and viewership way too low. And even the most optimistic estimation showed the partnership would not yield many recruits. One senior Army marketing official, in an interview with Military.com, said the deal echoed the National Guard's $88 million NASCAR sponsorship that reportedly didn't lead to a single new soldier joining the ranks. But the UFL partnership was ultimately pushed through directly by General Randy George, the Army Chief of Staff, according to an email between him and senior staff, reviewed by Military.com.
Is he the son of Major Duke George?
Johnson hasn't posted anything on his Instagram related to the Army since April. One post mostly featured photos of him with generals, including a photo of him hugging George. Another was clips of his tour of Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Maryland. That's good to know. His visit to the fucking hospital was all for $1 million. In terms of The Rock, this is a quote, in terms of The Rock, it's unfortunate he was pulled away at a time when we expected him to be present with us to create content for his social media channels, said Colonel Dave Butler, a spokesman for George.
It's George's fault. You know, he could have had a picture taken with General Electric, General Mills, General Motors. He picks General George.
But we're working with the UFL to rebalance the contract. The Rock remains a good partner to the Army. And then we have, it says here, one internal Army document pointed out the inexperienced UFL staff causing numerous breakdowns in communication. Here's a quote. UFL lack of experience liaising between brand and networks was very apparent during planning and created a significant amount of additional work. So we could stop there. On the strength of Dwayne Johnson's star power, and again, the way he's, it's like one of those things where the way you're perceived by people in high positions who may not know what's happening on the street, and the way kids or young people or people who pay attention see you are two different things. I call them the male J-Lo for a reason. There's a disconnect between how popular you are told that they are and how popular they seemingly really are. And they got this deal on the strength of The Rock. He couldn't even put out the tweets for, like, what the hell is that? What is this? And again, every other thing we've heard about with him is about disorganization with his staff. And again, now you're hearing about it with this UFO.
Wait, that's so preposterous, because if they're paying you all that money to tweet something, why get your sponsor, these people, the Army, especially the ones with cannons, why get them upset when you could just be tweeting something? Because then if you held up your end of the bargain and did everything you're supposed to do, and they give you $11 million and they don't get shit, well, then they've really got no reason to bitch because they made a goddamn deal. But now they've got a reason to bitch because you didn't even hold up the deal that they got nothing out of. So it's not like 4 more tweets or whatever would have made any difference, obviously. But at least you as the perpetrator of this scam could say, my hands are clean. I did what you paid me to do. You know, you shouldn't have made this deal if you didn't like it. But now it's like, what the fuck? And $11 million. How many recruits would you need to get would they feel was worthwhile for $11 million?
See, the thing is, you want to get mad because it's our tax dollars being just thrown around and played with. So on one hand, you're mad, and then other people are like, well, it's only a drop in the bucket for the Army. They've got billions to put. Well, that doesn't make it any better. This is a waste of money in every way, and any reasonable person would have seen that. It's like a favor almost. Because otherwise, how would you ever think this would work? And the other thing is, they said he did 2 out of the 5 tweets he was supposed to do. So that's $1 million a tweet. The first one was pictures of him hugging generals. That's $1 million. The second one, again, let me go back to this.
Join the Army and you could have a homosexual relationship with one of our generals.
Well, again, I don't know if that's exactly what they're saying there, but that is allowed in the Army. Well, actually, I don't know if that's allowed. I
think it's up to the general in question.
Well, no, I don't think it's up to the general because there's a chain of command and there's a power.
Well, who's higher than the general?
Well, listen, let's get back
and
to
he's
what...
generally high when he's having the homosexual relations.
There's no general having homosexual relations. You don't have to worry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Bring it up then.
I didn't. You just said that. I said nothing of the sort.
Well, it's not the way I heard it, but go ahead.
What was I saying?
I don't know.
God damn it. Why do you do this to me?
You were talking about General George being gay for some reason.
I did not say that. You said that. And I don't even know if that's if General George is one of the hugging generals. So I don't know about that. Well, actually, it did say he did hug George. And well, look. George may like the hug.
He hugged him and squeezed him and called him George.
Well, that was a $1 million hug. The second one is the one that, to me, if it is what it sounds like, is offensive. He went to the military hospital for a visit. I always joke about him. I joke about the truth. I joke about him giving people gifts and filming it
The
happen.
camera is always there at the moment of conception.
Yeah. There's nothing he does that's nice, that's not that. And at times, it's almost set up. Remember, he went back to the place where whatever it was, he stole a Snickers bar when he was like...
Yeah.
And like he had someone behind the counter filming it or whatever it was. Like it was an unnatural place for someone to be filming this thing for this clearly set up scene, at least in his eyes. Who knows if anyone else knew what was happening. So that means he got $1 million to go to Walter Reed Medical Center, I don't have it in front of me, medical hospital.
Walter Reed Hospital.
Walter Reed Hospital.
Called.
$1 million to go there. And I would guess the intention is to cheer up the injured troops, these people who defended our country, who were injured or hurt from doing that. But if you treat it like it's just something you're doing for $1 million, not only is that kind of scummy, but secondly, it makes you wonder who else is doing that. Not just in wrestling, obviously, but just whenever you see any celebrity filming themselves going to a military hospital, are they being paid by the government to do that? Or are they doing that on their own just as a good person?
Well, and then also, if it's $1 million is what it takes to get you to go to Walter Reed, Maybe that's because he's eaten at the commissary and he knew what he was in for. But it's you're going to a hospital to see, as you said, wounded people and blah, blah, blah. It would seem like there would be some element of you would have to disclose, hey, this is part of a sponsorship I'm doing or whatever. I'm working with the Army, so I thought I'd come by. You don't have to say you were being paid specifically to go to the hospital. But it's not like, I was wandering by and they said I could come in. No, you're working with the Army. It's a business deal. We need to know some of this. Just to me.
You know what you should do? Put up a tweet or an Instagram thing. Hi, I'm Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Do you want to look like this? Well, you're never going to be drug tested in the new Army. You can go over there and do whatever the fuck you want. You may be saying, Dwayne Johnson, you never served in the military. Who the fuck are you to tell me I should join the Army? And I say you're right. Take out that aggression for Uncle Sam. If you smell what $11 million is cooking.
If you smell what $11 million has bought me.
Have you met General Hiram? Well, again, I said it. Earlier in this year, people were really getting on me because I was telling the truth about what was going on with The Rock.
You know what? This stuff is starting to come out and is looking more and more in your favor.
Listen, he's lying about burgers. He's lying about the military. What the fuck is happening with this guy?
And he's revamping, let's see, April, May, he's revamping the WrestleMania documentary so it comes out 3 months later instead of the next week. Because they had to figure out a way to make it look like he invented, the Garden of Eden or whatever.
I told you this was coming.
He's not doing himself any favors, is he? Amazing talent. But goddamn, he's really huffing his own fucking methane.